going live pretty soon. 3, 2. Okay, now we're live.
Echo,
We're
AOA.
back to talk about the worst film in comic book history. And
Whoa.
The
y'all,
Damn.
biggest
no,
fall.
no, 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 no.
The
Madam Web,
biggest fall.
Madam Web, maybe we treated you too harshly. I'm so sorry, Madam Web. Madam
Cat,
Web, Suicide Squad 2016, I'm sorry. I could have been
Catwoman,
better.
Morbius. You're saying Morbid time is better than this? I don't believe it.
You're
Oh
making a
my
joke? I give you my
God.
word. I'd rather watch Morbius while I watch
Hey,
Joker too.
I would
if
not.
I if I had if I was locked in a room and I
I really
had a
like
choice
Morbius.
between if I was locked in a room and I had a choice between Joker 2 and Love and Thunder, yeah, I'm watching this movie. Joker 2.
Nah,
I'll
Whoa.
find at least
Love
something
and Thunder
salvageable.
is underrated.
Oh, bro.
Oh, we are
As
going.
a Ragnarok hater, the goat's clear any joke in Ragnarok. I don't care what no one says.
But
Oh God, screaming
he hated
goat.
Thor 4 more than Ragnarok, so that doesn't do anything for him. Like, he hated
Yeah.
Ragnarok and Thor 4, so that doesn't do anything.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
If it makes it feel better, just like how the screaming goats got worser the more they used it, I'll say there was something in this movie that was coming out worser the more they kept using it, and I'll get more into that. Yeah. So
But nah,
yeah.
man, you're calling this worse than some of the greats, bruh. Never turn down Catwoman, bruh. Catwoman never turn down.
if you don't know who Selena Kyle is, Catwoman is not the worst film.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't even know if I buy that excuse. I don't know if I buy that excuse for Catwoman. I really don't.
Hey, that's Halle Berry's favorite superhero movie of all time. She was asked that.
Look, y'all acting like I said it's worse than like Elektra, okay?
You said the worst of all time.
Yeah.
I'll
Electra's worse than that.
Electra
say
is worse than time.
Hey, I'll say this: this movie had the biggest fall off a cliff from a great movie to ever happen.
That's also why I consider it one of the worst. As a
Wow.
follow-up film to one of the greatest films, comic book films I ever seen, I think it deserves that time.
Gotcha.
Well, audience, we start off with some spicy takes, but
Yeah.
are we ready to get into them? Are we?
Let's go for it. All right, let me get us started. Welcome to the Comic Fanatic review of Joker number 2, and I'm just saying Joker number 2 because I'm not memorizing that. What was that? Flew to something?
Folie à deux.
Folie à deux. I'm sorry, I'm not French. All right, so.
Now the people in this film, why they do that?
I don't. Was there something I missed? Because I didn't know that was the full title of this film until I went to go see it in theaters. Like, where did that other
That
part
was the
come from?
trailer. That was the trailer.
Really? I didn't notice
Yeah, it
that.
wasn't a Harley Quinn situation where they changed the name multiple times. This was the full name.
Yeah. Okay. So. All right. Well, anyway, you're here with me, Cryptid Seeker 415. Okay, I'm just eating some sugar canes right now, so move on.
Yeah. And it is I, Jake Tylenol, the lore keeper of Metro Nui, and maybe one of the few people on this earth who do not hate this movie.
No, I'm not saying I hate it. No. Me and Jake already talked about it, so we're not going to argue on stream. Y'all don't have to worry. But I won't say I hate it. But I'm judging it as a musical first, because that's what they said it was.
I won't. Okay, if it's fair, I'll say I don't hate it. I'm just greatly disappointed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you two different ratings. I'm gonna give you one as a musical, which is first and foremost what this movie's supposed to be, and I'm gonna judge it as a film.
All right.
But I'm Austin. I guess the last Ranger left with the power. I don't know. We're getting rebooted. I got to see where I land in this new universe. I'm gonna hope for the best.
I feel like when you say Austin, it sounds like a Kryptonian name, like of that Oz of the House of Ten.
No, that's what I did. There's literally a hyphen. I just don't see it out loud.
That's cool.
You look at my name. I got a space between it.
Together, we form the Phanatics, and we talk about the news and reviews of the week. And on this very special Sunday, we will be talking about Joker fully ado. And as per usual, this will be in our movie playlist where you can see all of our movie reviews, such as the late Aquaman 2, as well as some of our Disney movie reviews, some of which is
Transformers 1.
Oh yeah, I guess we have like one, right? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Name some recent ones, please.
Yeah, we had that. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, our one Disney review, Deadpool and Wolverine, Transformers 1. I don't know. I didn't put Transformers 1 in there, but I can. I probably should. It just was attached to an episode, so and so much more.
Audience, if you want to see our version of a Hail Hydra moment, go look at our Barbie review.
There you go. But yeah, don't forget to leave a like if you like us, and subscribe to the channel, which will help us in the future get a boost in that algorithm, as well as comment. What did you think about the film? How did you feel about it? What drove you to even watch this film to begin with? If you did,
would you wear that clown makeup? I don't think you would.
It's a lot of clown makeup, but yeah. So, we also have social medias, but does anyone remember them? I'm kind of terrible.
Follow us on Phanatics69 on X-Twitter, whatever it's calling itself nowadays. And yeah.
All right.
Get Phanatics on Instagram, if I remember correctly. Or no, Phanatics 2.0 on Instagram. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Maybe we'll have this written down for one which isn't here. But until then, I say, if we're all ready, with fully ado.
Yes, it's fully ado. As in, like, now further ado.
Right. Without fully ado. Yeah, I don't know how to use it. That's what I want. So we'll just
man.
But yeah. So I guess now I don't know where Cryptid lies because I never asked them.
Kurt, you go first. General overview, I guess.
I guess for me, the first movie was definitely a surprise. Nobody was expecting it to be as like an Academy Award-winning movie as it was. So I could definitely sense that when it came to the sequel, it's obvious that they didn't want to do a sequel, But the first movie was so successful, the studio's like, make a damn sequel, all right? And here I could tell they did want to do some new things. This is why they decided to go the musical route. It's something new. But I just felt no harmony. There were like forced musical numbers at random moments. There was, some serious moments, but again, it got overshadowed by the musicals that popped up next. There were some funny moments, but it just, again, I didn't know what tone they were going for, really. That's what kind of ruined this this movie for me. I think it was that YouTuber Dan Merle who put it nicely in saying it's like trying to grab puzzle pieces from other sets and trying to mash them together, and that's what you get with Joker 2, So yeah, that's why I was kind of like largely disappointed, So that's my thoughts.
I wouldn't say I was disappointed. I don't know. I kind of went into this movie. Like it was just another Joker film to me. I think with the first Joker film, I remember when I watched it the first time, I really enjoyed it. But I remember like after a while, I just realized like so much of that, and that was kind of the point, was that it wasn't really like a Joker film till the last like 10 minutes, which was like, play into the themes of what Joker is as a character. I understand that. But so like I guess when I was watching this one, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if we were getting a Joker film or an Arthur Fleck film. And to answer that question, it wound up just being an Arthur Fleck film. And to the movie's credit, I could have really not liked it for that because I didn't want this in the sequel. But I think the movie, for all its flaws, it has a lot of like lot of cool themes for the film. Even some things that like it's done something with characters such as Harley, which I've never personally seen from Harley Quinn in a film before. So I really appreciate that theme they did with her. I really did enjoy once we got to the ending. How the message from the very beginning finally sunk in for me for like what the movie was trying to say. So I really did like all those themes being woven in from start to finish. Basically the lesson being about like who is the audience here for? Are they really here for Arthur Fleck's story? Or are they here for Joker's story? And that's the theme I really did enjoy. On the other hand, though, we do have to talk about the musicals because this is a musical
That's
element.
a weird argument, theme to put in your film called the
Right.
Joker.
Right. And I'll go
For
more
a
into that
comic fan of the
as we
Joker.
go on. But yeah. But yeah, I did. But as far as the music numbers go, it's hard to realize. Like, I didn't hate them, but I didn't love them. My just so people know where I am with musicals. My favorite musical that I've ever heard is still High School Musical 2. so, because
I'm gonna make Jake listen to the epic musical. That's what we're gonna do. Well, I'm moving out and make him listen to that. We're gonna watch
do I know?
one day.
What do I know about musicals? My best musical movie was that South Park movie. That was it. So,
when I listen to musicals, when I have the High School Musical 2 standard, what I loved about that musical is like every song is fucking catchy in its own way. It's story driven, it's character driven, and make everything feels like pops on its own. You could sing it as a part of the movie or sing it on its own, and it still sounds great. Well, with this, a lot of the songs, I think it was brought up in my second viewing. A lot of the songs are just kind of like too similar to each other in terms of tone. I understand. I think I understand why it's made that way. And I do like the reason in universe for the musical. Like, it's like story wise, it does make sense, and it does play into a greater theme by the end of the film. And there's an argument to be made: did it have to be a musical to begin with for that theme to work? Not really, but I do appreciate the experiment. And I do appreciate that the director made sure that, like, once this movie was done, that, like, hey, don't call me back again. I said everything I had to say. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot to appreciate, but there's also a lot that just like doesn't work in this film, admittedly. And so that's why I think at the end of the day, I don't even have a number rating for it. I just say it's a solid film, but it's definitely a downgrade from the last film, I would say, by a huge margin. But yeah, that's where I went. Yeah, Austin, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, after I guess a musical connoisseur here, with the if you want to put my resume out there, I've seen the Lion King musical on Broadway, the Beetlejuice musical. Actually, Jake has seen the musical. Me, him, Tony seen the Spider-Man musical.
Oh wow.
But my favorite musical is Gallivant, or the epic musical. Gallivant, like a knight story. It's very funny. But so on the musical front, I was interested in this movie. I want to see what the fuck is the Joker going to sing about. I don't think this actor can sing. And I'm telling you now, this ain't a spoiler. I was 100% right. I'm telling you that right.
Yes. Thank you. Someone said it.
But that's not a spoiler for you. But I was just disappointed on that front. A lot of things like Jake said worked fine, but I was the one who brought the argument that some of these things didn't need the musical side to work. I agree with the Harley Quinn thing. I think she was interesting here, and like Jake said, I guess it showed a part aside a lot of people haven't really seen from her. Definitely mainstream now that what's her name? The chick from the Barbie movie has been doing the same Harley for like almost 10 years now. It's been like 8 years since 2016.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I'm blanking on her name too. I don't know who you're talking about. But...
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie. There you go.
Yeah. As a Joker film, I think it fails on. I think the big problem with saying them following up this theme with "Are people here for Arthur Fleck or the Joker?" is that even by his script that he wrote for the first movie, it ends with saying that he is now the Joker. And a lot of this film kind of goes against the last 30 minutes of the last film that I just rewatched last night. Well, this morning. But it goes against the direct message of the last film to kind of like reinforce it and then just throw it all away in the end of the film, in my opinion. I wouldn't really say. So I guess in the long run, I guess I really was just disappointed. I don't really have a lot to add in this situation until we get into the spoilers. I guess I wanted more, man. I don't know what to say.
Just want to read our comment.
Yeah, Red Temple says not High School Musical 2. Listen, it's a great musical. Listen, the story is terrible. Like as I got older, that's how like me and Troy's friends are, but the songs are great. They're timeless.
Worst friends ever.
Worst friends ever.
Yeah, but I'll comment on the whole musical situation with the actor. I think this was Double Toast who brought this up, right? It is you kind of ran into a bit of a dilemma because you have an actor who can't sing, but then you have an actor, you have Lady Gaga who's known for singing, right? She has to kind of tone her singing down a bit so that the main actor could kind of catch up to her, which is what led to a lot of the scenes feeling a little bit dull or unsatisfying. I mean, there's no musical number here that's ever going to go viral or memorable or anything that really stands out.
No,
if anything, like a lot of them tended to be distracting. Like, I'll use this one example, right? Y'all don't care about spoilers at this point, right?
Yeah, spoiler for this one on. Let's just get into it.
Spoilers.
Gotcha. My favorite moment in this movie. Oh yeah, let's start that off, right? Was when Arthur's friend, that little guy, he came in the courtroom, and it was very tense, with him because he's obviously so traumatized by everything that happened, and he told his story afterwards that like, look, after that I went to the police station, and what they told me? I had to stay in the police station overnight because they fear that since I was the one witness that Arthur's going to come and try killing me. There was a lot of sad moments with him, like, Arthur, I was your one friend, and look what you did, man. I have nightmares because of this. And then what happens a couple minutes later? Bam, a musical dance number. You even bring that guy as part of the background dancers of that musical dance number. I'm like, oh, come on, really?
And I like that because to joke to Arthur, he really did see Gary as a friend. He wasn't like this was like so he really wanted him as his best man. I did like that.
Yeah.
I get what you mean by the music being out of place, but I did like that.
Yeah, I mean, for God's sakes,
that happens a few times. Like go ahead.
As Gary was like pouring his heart out, what does Arthur do? He just makes fun of his name.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, come on, dude.
Because the scene is to illustrate that Arthur is trying to be Joker, but by the very end, I think that's when you start seeing the cracks that he's not. Because it's clear that by the end, Gary is starting to affect him. Because I remember watching the film and I was thinking, like, when Gary was like, sort of grilling him when he walked back to the stand. Normally, I feel like if that was Joker would have turned around and said something like scary or menacing. Ooh, you think you're talking to, brat? Arthur, he's like, I don't want to talk. Like, that's enough. We're done. We're like, I don't want to talk anymore because he's putting on the facade of him being.
But that was my problem with this film, though, because we didn't really get a sense of the Joker until the end of the last one. So it's hard to say what he would and what he wouldn't do. Other than like murder people, he was just dancing around really when he came to like showing his emotions. And he had to freak out against Murray.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, and I could see that too. I think maybe because again, we all gotta remember the first movie was supposed to be like a one and done. So one thing's supposed to come.
Yes.
So maybe this was always in the director's head, or maybe it wasn't. We just have to take the movies.
No, we know he wanted to. We know he didn't want to do a sequel. He had no plans to do a sequel, and he was going to go do another film thing, and he kind of got shoved more money he can count to come back and do that.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like. He ends the movie, right? And maybe in his head, if he was like, maybe in his head he had this idea that maybe Arthur is or is not the Joker. Or maybe he just thought he was the Joker, but he just changed his mind later. I guess my point is, with this movie, we have to take for granted, because the Joker's in so little of the first movie, we have to take for granted the fact that this is just kind of the natural trajectory that the director felt that Arthur would take. Because like you said, we don't see much of him. We just see him do the one act. But he kills as the Joker, he kills I think 3 people.
They're charging him with 5 deaths.
Right, because he killed
3.
Well, it's really 6. Yeah.
Yeah, well, nobody knew about the sixth one.
Right.
To lay it out, like the five deaths were the three people he killed on that train. It
Yeah,
was his coworker,
the
you know,
guy
the
with the
one who
door.
met, yeah, the guy at the door, and the fifth one was Murray, that TV host.
But
The sixth one, they do bring it up in the film, but they don't bring it up in the
At,
court one. What I thought was interesting.
no,
But the
at
sixth
the
one was at the
end.
end of the movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird
Yep.
to think like in the asylum they acknowledged it, but it wasn't in the court or court case.
Yep. As I recall, he killed his mother just by putting a pillow over her face. I think that was it.
Oh, I wasn't counting her. I was counting when he left the therapist and he saw the bloody footprints and stuff and he ran away.
Oh yeah, I guess I just forgot about that or whatever, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah,
Yep. Hmm.
but yeah, it's like it's like again, you have to take a lot for granted because this is like kind of like a, I guess if you're making me continue it kind of situation. Uh,
Yeah.
but I do get what you're saying, Austin. I do hear you. I do think that's a
Hmm.
valid thing. It's
Yeah.
just that
Yeah,
this is stuff
well,
we have really.
yeah.
Um,
There was also just one more thing I wanted to talk about when it came to that courtroom scene with what was that little guy's name again?
Gary,
Puddles.
Gary.
Gary Puddles.
Gary Puddles.
Puddles. Gary
You call
Puddles. Okay,
him
I'll call him Gary. Yeah, I didn't like that. Like immediately as he came in, they were already just making like little person jokes at him. Like I remember in the first movie, right? There was only one joke about his size that really landed. You know, it was dark, it was tense, it was funny, all at the same time. That joke nailed. You know when he
Oh, when he's
because
trying to open the door.
yeah, yeah, you're like you feel so sorry for him, but you can't help but laugh. Like, but then in this, like yeah, but then like in this movie, like as soon as he comes in, people in the courtroom, people are already starting to laugh at his height. You have to get a shot of him having to use a yellow book to sit on the stands, and I think even Joker was making like a joke about his size or something like that. It just,
Yeah.
I think that was just too overdoing it, you
I
know?
think I think those jokes are fine again because we're trying to set the scene from like well we're doing two things. We're setting the scene from Gary's perspective that like he does feel like kind of insecure and small. These people also that's another thing I wanted to address too. Like if we're talking about
The
who
Joker fandom.
yeah the Joker they're the Joker's fans and in
Mhm.
essence they're like the real Joker character and they're just imprinting themselves on Arthur and Arthur wanting acceptance is just playing into them basically.
Mhm.
But when he's making those jokes, again, playing to the theme that he's not really Joker, Arthur wouldn't do that. But because he wants to be loved as Joker so badly, he's willing to make fun of him, basically.
Mhm.
That's why I think those jokes are fine. It's not like an in-game situation where they're just making that joke just because. I feel like there's actually like a real reason for like why
I
it's
still hate that shit. I don't care no one says.
there.
Gotcha. But that's all I wanted to say on that Gary situation.
Yeah.
What else did you guys want to bring up? Or what
Um,
scene did you want to bring up?
I want to talk about.
We about to say that other scene for later.
Okay.
I guess I'll bring up my scene, and then Austin can bring up his. We'll just go in the order that we reviewed it, I guess.
Hmm.
So my scene I want to talk about, which I think really set the tone for the movie in a way I didn't expect, was the opening with the cartoon, um, which I
I
guess
didn't
had
see the
some.
cartoon by the way.
Yeah, say it again.
That
I was like,
confused
no, I
me.
didn't see the cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
that
cartoon at the very beginning about Arthur and Joker and their relationship, and I felt like it had two meanings. Because the very literal meaning is that it's trying to establish that Joker and Arthur are two different people, essentially.
mhm.
Like which it's kind of guised up in the courtroom scene where they're saying like, oh, Joker is like a separate personality from Arthur when it really isn't. But also like the meaning that when Joker goes around, he's like confident, he's on top of the world, he can do whatever he wants, and Arthur is chasing after him constantly because he thinks everyone is here for him. Like he goes to the set where Maury dies, and
Mhm.
he thinks that like he's the star, but no one's really here for him. They're here for Joker, essentially.
Mhm.
Joker takes it all in until it's time for the punishment, it's time for the repercussions, and Arthur's the one who suffers for it.
Mhm.
And I think in the beginning it was kind of like, what are we doing? But again, I think that's the theme throughout the whole movie, even to the end, when the movie stops being about Joker no one really cares about Arthur Fleck at the end of the day. You see that with Harley especially, who I think is like I said, I think she had the most interesting take on the character I've seen in a while, which is like, what if Harley met Joker, but like he wasn't really the person that she thought he was, essentially. And how at the end of the movie,
it reminds like the reverse Black Cat situation where he fell for the mask and not the man.
Right. Yeah. And what I liked about it too was their connection. So like Arthur and her connect through singing, which is why there's a musical throughout the movie. That's like a thematic thing about it. Whether it works or not, well, we already know the answer to that. But in terms of actually being a theme, they sing together or they sing apart. That's how they connect. But the moment that Harley doesn't see him as Joker anymore, she starts singing, and Arthur can't sing with her anymore. Like he doesn't understand her anymore. And I thought that was like a really good moment, like where he's just trying to shut her up. He's like, just talk to me, just like stop singing, basically. And I really like that. And it's further illustrated too how little the movie cares about Arthur when Joker starts being a factor, by the fact that Arthur just dies at the end, like he gets killed. And it's during a moment that's interesting because it's a moment where he gets called to see someone wants to visit him, basically. And you're wondering, or at least I was as an audience member, I was like, oh, well, who is it? Is it Harley? Did Harley come back? But the movie kills him short before he gets that answer. Because the real Joker shows up. The guy who was like idolizing him the whole movie. And that was the movie's way of saying that basically it doesn't matter what Arthur wants or if he gets it because you weren't here for him. You were here for the Joker, and he's right there. And so that was the theme I really enjoyed about the movie. That really kept it from being like a bad movie to me, like a flat out bad movie, I should say. So,
I guess like if you go down the layers, you'll better appreciate this film as opposed to what you're seeing in the outer layer. Because like when you put it like that, okay, then I can understand what they were going for. But as it is coming out of the theater, don't get that sense.
Yeah.
To go to your point on like the whole cartoon situation, right? I was a little bit confused, like midway into the movie, because they brought in the neighbor back. That girl, the one that was in Deadpool 2, who played Domino. Yeah, they brought her back, and she did mention that they made a cartoon based on Joker, and that she.
No, it was a TV movie. They mentioned it multiple times throughout the film. It was a TV movie.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. All right. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, those are my thoughts on like the cartoon version, at least. So, Austin, did you want to give a thought?
Sure. So, like I said, I agree with Jake. I think the theme is fine. I just think as a follow up to the last film, but when you read the script and how Arthur's journey, I think it's weird to. I know he didn't want to do a sequel, but you have to. It seems weird to take this route. You end the last film over. Now he is the Joker. Like even the script says he is Joker now. Like at the final line. And then the opening scene for your next one was like, well, is he actually Joker, or is he just Arthur Fleck? And I think the duology of it is interesting. I just don't think it's handled well. I brought up just to get. You didn't really have to do a musical because they already introduced like his interpretive dance stuff as his way of communicating him. Him getting in tune with himself, learning who he is. I feel like he could have shared that moment with Harley and a few moments like that, them dancing to a song or something like that, and it would have had the same effect. Not than having to sing these terrible songs every like 10 minutes.
Yep.
But other than that, like I didn't see the opening cartoon, so I didn't see the initial them shoving the theme in your face, I guess. But I got the feeling of the. Go ahead.
It definitely had like a Looney Tunes feel. The cartoon, the first 5 minutes of the cartoon, I'll tell you.
It admittedly was not greatly animated, but I felt like I think that is a criticism I have. I like the ideas in this film, but it feels like he should have gotten people who were like good at executing. Like, get a better animator for the cartoon bit. Get a better songwriter for the song bit. You know what I mean? Like that's what I kind of felt. But as you said.
He had a song. Leo had a songwriter and a singer. Why didn't Lady Gaga write the song?
That's true.
Because if
Or
she
if she
wrote the
did, oh god, that's terrible. That's
if she
terrible.
wrote and they bro if she wrote that song, man, one, royalties, this and that going forward, and two, the actor who plays Arthur will have to keep up with her song numbers, which ain't gonna happen, you know. So yeah.
But I think his journey is an interesting one at the very least. Like I
Hmm.
said, I came here judging this shit as a musical first, and it was terrible on all fronts. I think
Hmm.
every song was bad. Most of them were ill timed. Like
Hmm.
in the middle of his interview with the guy pressuring him, I
Hmm.
understood why he would start singing, but to have it in the literally the middle of the meeting and then just on the end, you just cut back to the meeting and keep going. Was like, come on,
Hmm.
this is really terrible pieces.
It's like you're trying to fill up
Uh,
time slot, you
It's
know?
also unclear to me if like what songs are being sung in reality and which ones aren't.
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
and you even know when he like turned into the Joker when he's singing, but when he just like walking around the room singing, and it seems like
Yeah.
people are interacting with him. It's hard to tell if he's delusional or not.
Funny enough, the one time I actually wanted them to perform a musical number was the one moment in the movie where it wasn't a musical number. It was it was
Yeah,
when the courtroom exploded. I'm like, this
I
is
did
just
too.
so random. Yeah, this was just so random. Like, what? Like,
no, actually,
I thought he was going to sing the song on the way out. I ain't gonna lie.
I
yeah.
did like the courtroom explosion scene because I explained it. He said earlier when he was confessing he wasn't really the guy that everyone wanted. He says,
Mhm.
"I just want everything to just blow up, and I just want to start over." And so then the courtroom blows up, and then he gets to the car, and the guy explains, "Oh yeah, some guy heard that you wanted to blow up the world, so he blew up the courtroom."
What? Come on.
Funny. I thought that was actually funny.
Yeah, to me, that was just way too random to happen to take seriously, you know?
I like that because actually we see that happen in real life where like people hear someone say something and they just like kind of interpret it in a way that like is very violent or something.
Yeah, but they usually don't. Usually when it happens, they'll immediately be like 2 seconds later, I'm just gonna blow up the world. Like,
I just happen to have all the parts to make a really big explosion, you know?
order
So,
to make a really big car bomb. He made a car bomb somehow
hmm
in like
Yep,
2 minutes, and then blew up the courtroom.
yep. Oh, and the writer and the creative team thought like, okay, this is the way we'll jerry rig in the Two-Face origin. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
forgot
that's the
audience.
only reason he was here, just to get hit with that explosion. You know that's fact. The only reason he was in this courtroom.
Listen, if you're gonna be
Yeah,
a Gotham and have an attorney, why not Harvey Dent? Just
oh, jeez. Like I said this when we were
The
talking about
problem
Cape
is,
Crusader.
like, go ahead.
No, I was about to say like that. I said this when we talked about Cape Crusader, right? There's only so many times I could see the same character getting half his face splashed with acid or burned or like, come on, I want to do something else, you know? Tired of that.
yeah.
Hmm. You were saying something, Austin?
Uh, yeah, my bad. I got a text that was distracted me. But
Okay.
my problem with the Two Face things that you want to say, oh yeah, just a cool little reference. Like they didn't linger on it for it to really matter.
Hmm.
So it's like that literally could have been anyone. Because Jake, the first time, didn't even notice that he got half his face messed up.
Oh no,
It
no, I
wasn't.
noticed the face of myself. I couldn't see it because the camera
It,
doesn't focus on it. That's what I was complaining about. I
it
said,
wasn't. It wasn't that bad, really. It was more like
Yeah, it was
I
just
have to see
like
it.
kind of pink. It didn't look like actual burnt
Yeah.
or anything.
yeah. So like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
So in the theater when I saw it the first time, I could tell there was something wrong with his face, but the movie doesn't want to focus on his face. It's just like if you see it, you see it. So I couldn't really get like
Yeah.
digest how it looked really until the second time.
Mm,
That's all I'm saying. But yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
But
Just based on what we saw, at least from that glimpse, like, hey, just put some makeup on that, and you're good to go. I don't think it's that severe, you know. Like, but yeah.
uh, but the theme of the movie, people being there for Joker and Arthur Fleck is kind of how it basically is in the comics with Joker. Really, like
Hmm.
no one cares. Like we wanted to, like okay, some people want to know who he was before the one bad day. but a lot of people didn't care. I was just here
Mm-hmm.
fighting Batman. You know what I mean? And once we found out his name was like Jack White or something like that.
Yeah.
Or his name turned out to be. And I'm like, actually, his family's still alive. You just an abusive asshole. I was like, okay, that was ass. Anyway, I guess we're go back to the story.
He's
So I
out
kind of felt like they're the same. Go
He's
ahead.
out doing his last name proud, man. You know, I'm gonna go all the way with this last name. You watch, Jack White.
Yeah. So I kind of felt like it was just kind of the same theme here. But I did appreciate. Let's see the best way to word this. I did appreciate the idea more than the execution. I did like Harley and everyone get absorbed into it, only to find out he was a fraud and be like, yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
need to let this stupid shit go.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man.
Gotcha.
Wait, I guess your worst single performance I've ever seen in my life.
You guys want to talk about Lee Quinn while we're mentioning her? Like,
you want to talk about the Zack Snyder scene?
That's yeah. I felt like I
The
made a
one that
joke.
Zack Snyder clearly came in the film? Mr. Batman can be raped in my movie?
Joker gets sexually assaulted in my movie.
oh my god.
That scene was done more effectively than if I just told people this in a vacuum. I think that scene would have been sounding horrible. But I didn't like that they used something that would like bring Arthur down to earth because he at this point is like he's like, yeah, I'm the Joker, bitch. Like what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And then like this scene happens and he comes in the next day. He's like, fuck, I'm not the agent of chaos. I'm not the god of Prince of Crime. I'm not the guy,
Oh
I did like
I just want my cigarette. That's really all I want.
I did like that they used something because Arthur has been beat up before. So like getting beat up, like what's that gonna do to him? Like he has been like abused in other ways, but not like this. And they use something that would realistically take away like anybody's ability to feel strong. And they use that as a way to bring him back down to realize like I'm not Joker. So I thought that was like it could have been really messy, but it served a narrative purpose, and it didn't dwell on it just enough for you to understand what was happening, and then they just kind of then you get it. It doesn't get any resolution, but it pays off in a different way, and I think that's why I was okay with that.
Gotcha. I mean, for me, Lee Quinn, she was there to be the devil on Arthur's shoulder.
Her name is still Harleen Quinzel. They literally said it in the film. Her name's still Harleen Quinzel. He called her Lee.
Okay, yeah, because I was just looking at it based on the credits when I was watching the movie. They referred to
No.
her as
I know. A lot of people were mad and worried because it was like you saw the stuff about the penguin being called Cobb and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So people started a whole new movement of changing Batman villain's name. Her name is still Harleen Quinzel, according to the guy who was interviewing Arthur in the movie.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'll just refer to her as Harley then. But yeah, her role in this movie was being the devil on Arthur's shoulder, like, as his lawyer was just trying rigorously to, help Arthur in his case. You had Lee coming in who was kind of like encouraging Arthur to just basically go scorched earth, She was a bad influence on the guy. Oh. No, all good. Yeah, so if anything, I kind of felt like she reminded me of, I keep forgetting this one character's name in the comics, the evil version of Harley Quinn that's out right now.
Punchline? I wouldn't agree with that.
No.
Yeah, well, I mean, Punchline, like, when she first debuted, she was, like, encouraging Joker to, go more to the dark side. I mean, for God's sake, she convinced Joker to, like, yeah, let's just go kill Batman, Screw this whole cat and mouse chase. Let's go scorch earth on Gotham. And that's kind of what I felt like Harley was in this film. She just wanted Joker to just go scorched earth.
She wanted the Joker from the comics.
I thought the other way around, where she wanted to manipulate him to be more like himself, the Joker in the comics. Yeah, I thought like their dynamic as a relationship had changed. That's how I saw it.
She saw the speech, which is how everyone said. That's why, and I like the way the movie tackles it. Like, Arthur made a speech that really wasn't trying to inspire anyone. He was just angry, basically.
Yeah.
He was impassioned. But because of the type of rhetoric he was using, it spoke to a lot of people in Gotham, and as we found out, in some parts of the real world too. And so for her, she saw like the Joker from the comic, like the agent of chaos, someone who could like change something like that. And so she came to Arkham for that guy.
Voluntarily, by the way, audience.
Right, voluntarily. She was crazy for him, and I did like how this movie actually did like use her origin, just in a different way.
This was kind of like a reverse situation of the Mad Love Story, when Joker was making up his backstory to, get to Harley. But in this, it was Harley who was actually making up her backstory to get close to Joker, because, she was like saying, yeah, I lived in your neighborhood. Yeah, I have issues with my parents too. Yeah, I'm also in Arkham too. And dude, if I was in Arthur Fleck's shoes, I'll be like, wow, that is way too coincidental that we have that many things in common. I mean, he was even called out for that by his own lawyer. Like, that's all bullshit, right? She made up. She's actually a rich guy's daughter, and she went to college, this and that, and yeah, she's just trying to get to Arthur.
Yeah, I like how Arthur is so gullible. Like, he's so desperate for attention. And again, I do think that's also why I also believe this character changed for Arthur, because even in the first movie, his biggest thing was that no one was he was having all these problems and no one noticed him. So now he's in a position where like he's getting noticed, but it's in the wrong ways, but he doesn't. Yeah. So and I do understand. So again, just for that comfort that he's wanted since the first movie. He wants to be with Harley forever because he feels like Harley understands him, not understanding that he's changing for her, and she's.
It got to the point where when those two spent the night with each other, audience, she had him wear the clown makeup.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Also, he was a 2-point chump. That shit was crazy. That man. We Tony, who's my other friend, was making jokes out. We think Joker has a small wee wee based on his sexy. I'm telling you right now. And it seemed like he enjoyed it, bro. It felt like a power voice. I ain't gonna lie.
What more must the Lord take away from this man?
Exactly. On the cutting room floor, it was that scene. That scene was so.
Gotcha. But you also remember, like at the when she was talking to him through that screen, right? She mentioned she was pregnant.
Yes, but I don't know if she was still pregnant or not.
Yeah, that just came out like so random. Nobody was expecting that, and really by the end, you don't even know if she was telling the truth or not. Right.
She was just.
I think she was lying. To be honest.
Yeah, plus she just wanted. At this time, she was trying to make him forgive her.
So. Yeah. And then another power play to bring the Joker out or something, keep him there, but it didn't really work.
Yeah, she kept leading him on. Like, I mean, she was the only one here who was trying to encourage Joker to say, like, hey, you're not just going to win this case, but you're going to walk out those doors. So, what? What delusion do you have to believe that this man's going to be walking out after everything he did?
Yeah.
Did you guys want to talk about the lawyer situation?
Which lawyer?
He sexually assaulted that woman.
Oh, yeah, audience, that was cringe. To put into perspective, audience, like, right before Arthur was going to get his interviewing moment with a TV show, right? His lawyer had his back, right? She was doing everything she can to give him a good defense. She was trying to prep him up for this interview, this and that. And what does Arthur do? He attempts to kiss her. Like, he first, kisses her on the side of the lip, and she's like, "What, Arthur? Like, what's going on?" Like,
and that's
okay, just go.
Which also was brought up in the beginning of the film in the cartoon, because Joker did that in the cartoon, and so that's him being Joker.
And then later on, audience, when he finally took Harley's advice and he publicly fired his lawyer, he went and fully kissed her on the lips in front of the whole courtroom.
Yes.
Like, whoa, whoa.
That judge was a very terrible judge. That was a terrible judge they had. That Arthur Shaw should have been thrown out like a million times.
Like what court system in the world would allow the defendant to be wearing clown makeup during the courtroom?
He said something like based off the case, something be something. I guess this is okay. I'm like, I need to read that case. That does not sound
dude, I can't wait for Legal to be making a video on this. Like, all the things that were wrong with this court scene, I mean, especially by the end, like where he actually has his own mic as he's talking to the jury. I'm like, what? He has a mic, he has a chair. Like, what's a stand-up, dude? Come on,
I could see the clown makeup being accepted is if the court had already decided that Arthur and Joker are two different people, and that Arthur is Joker now. But that was what the case was about. So he wouldn't be able to wear the makeup during this case. But if he came back to court, then he would be able to wear the clown makeup. That's how I would see it.
I know. I think they would let him do it, but they'd be like, "You're right. You're waiting for him wearing the makeup, right? You're done. It's over."
The only time I ever saw that. Yeah, the only time I ever saw that done in any other movie was Air Bud, and even there, I was like, nah, I don't believe that, So.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. In terms of, was there like any song you guys like? Any of them?
Nah,
no.
None of them were memorable. That was the problem, man.
I think the visuals for them are great. I did like the one. I did not the song. But I did like the presentation of the one where Harley and Joker are doing a duet in the little fantasy studio, and the moment Harley stops looking at Joker, Joker's like, "Hey, you I don't want to sing anymore. You're not paying attention to me anymore."
I guess they're. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that felt very Joker-esque because that's a common theme in the Joker and Harley relationship, that like the moment Harley stops paying attention to Joker, he gets a little bit jealous, even though he doesn't really care about her. He just cares about the attention she gives. I did like that. That felt like like a comic Joker thing, I guess. But and I don't know. I guess as far as like I did like the set pieces for the songs. I like the story behind the songs more than the songs themselves, I guess.
Gotcha. To add to that, I'll at least say there's one musical number that was memorable for me. It was the one after the Gary hearing situation where you had Joker and Harley like basically in their wedding outfits, and you had Gary in the background dressed up for the wedding too. I'm like, okay, that was random, but at least it was memorable somewhat,
Let me ask you this, because we really bring it up yet. Wait, you want to ask me the question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you a question because you brought this up, and I didn't. I was gonna let you into it, but you brought up that this felt like a Joker. You were talking about a Batman point with this Joker. There's a Joker without a Batman.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You go lie. But I was telling Jake the reason I do like the themes and stuff of the first movie was mainly because the whole thing about the Joker that all it took was one bad day from the fall to deep end. But the thing that kind of saved Joker from going too far, at least at the start, he wasn't really a big deal in comics. The thing that stopped him from going too far at first was that he latched on to Batman, and he saw Batman the first person he ever really connected to.
Oh,
and here, without Batman, the only person he could really latch onto was Harley Quinn. We'll see how different that relationship worked out based on that situation. I thought that was an interesting. I thought it was an interesting mix based on both these characters. To be honest.
Yeah.
Because we never really got some of that for.
Yeah, I can see that point. Man, I guess villains having like their own solo movies without the main hero is a big thing nowadays.
It is a trend.
Yeah, this isn't going to be the first standalone villain movie we're going to talk about this month, audience. Yeah, we still have that Venom movie coming up. So.
Do you think?
If you go by fan theories.
Okay.
Do you think? And this might because I'm already seeing the argument against this, but do you think that the reason that he went the route that Joker and Arthur isn't Joker is so like he could kill him off at the end, as opposed to just having him be Joker at the end, and then just like the studio might come back to him and bother him about another sequel. Do you think?
I think so. You think this was? So
I
you're
don't think
saying
so because he
this
just
was
said no, you can't kill him off in the end.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They didn't really thought it was going to do well. They usually say you can't kill him off. I don't think they're just going to let this be the end of it. I think they were satisfied with what happened.
Or you could say like the studio's like looking at that scene. Oh no, he didn't die. Like he's there, stab wound in the gut, but like there's no death certificate. So
Oh yeah, wait, you don't know. The guy who stabbed him was going to end up being the Joker that that universe's Batman ended up fighting.
That even though it doesn't line up because we learned.
So technically, they can do another Joker movie. It'll just be following this guy as becomes the traditional Clown Prince of Gotham.
They can't because there's a continuity hiccup because they said this was in Gotham, New York, but we just found out in the Penguin that Gotham is in New Jersey.
No. No, this isn't. No. Y'all are thinking the wrong thing. This is not the Joker that's going to fight the Batman.
Oh.
I meant that in the first movie we met Bruce Wayne. When that Bruce Wayne ends up becoming a Batman, he's going to fight this new guy as the Joker.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay.
You thought I was trying to connect this to Matt Reeves, the Batman?
I was confused. Okay. All right. That makes more sense. Then, he fights. I guess that makes more sense. I did like how they set that guy up. He was way too into Arthur at the very beginning. He was like,
I thought he was just an average Joe, like in that prison. I didn't think.
To be fair, that what Joker was before he became Joker.
Yeah, that's true.
I just thought it was their spin on doing like the 3 Joker idea.
And unlike Arthur, he does fit the wild card interpretation that people like. That people were mad at this movie for going against before it came out, the first movie. Because when the first movie came out, there were a lot of people. I think I was one of them at the time. I don't remember my stance on it at the time, honestly. But they were like, I just like the Joker not having an origin story, basically. And I think having this guy who like he's just kind of like there, and he's just building up his like Joker rage in the background, but you don't really get a clear fix on who he is, and he becomes a Joker at the end. That satisfies that interpretation. Like the Joker, where people like don't know anything about him; they just know like he's a Joker. So that's good.
Before he stabs Arthur Fleck, he also says the joke that Arthur Fleck says in the first movie that no one else really should know, from my understanding. So I don't think that's the one he said on Murray. It's the one he's had on those cue cards. He tried to say that comedy club.
Yeah.
And he started uncontrollably laughing, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, speaking of Murray, I will say my biggest laugh in this movie was when one of the security guards was getting Arthur to sign that book that Murray wrote, and while Arthur was signing it, the security guard was like saying, "Dude, this could be worth thousands in the future," And then what do you see?
Thousands when he fries.
Yeah. And then when he finishes and he goes out, like you see that he writes, "I hope you get cancer." Wow. Oh man, he did a John Wayne Gacy moment right there, So
I did like how the security guards they didn't treat him like a person, but they did treat him like better than I thought. No, which movie night's on after this?
Yeah, I just talked about that.
Yeah. Sorry, that's our friend Witch in the comments. Witch didn't watch Joker. That's why he's not joining us today.
Okay.
Awesome.
Apparently he's too cool to spend time watching a clown in action.
To learn about society. Okay.
They treated him like every like amusement.
Yeah.
You're a clown. You're funny.
Right.
And then when he stopped being a clown to them, and in the way they see clowns, they did what they did.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically exactly. Again, going to the themes that people care about the Joker, not Arthur. But yeah, like I said, I think a lot of people I've seen Matt the movie. At least I started before we got here because a lot of people were talking about this movie. I just wound up seeing clips people were mad about.
Mhm.
There were a lot of people who were mad about the fact that like Arthur just didn't become the Joker by the end.
Yeah.
And like I said, I see it. It's just that I think the way it was written, I think I was fine with it, especially
Mhm.
because the theme I thought was really interesting and really well done, in my opinion. At least. I think I was fine with it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't speak for everybody. So.
I do remember when I was getting when the movie ended in my screening, right? You did have one woman who was like, "How could you end the movie like that?" But me internally, I'm like, "Okay, thank God they ended it, so I don't have to see them do a third film." You know. So, audience, to be honest, like I feel like I'm the average moviegoer a lot of times here. I'll say this: I would not have watched this movie normally because like of all the negative reviews I've been hearing about this. I'm like, oh shoot, they must have done something really dull in this film. But for the sake of this channel, I watched it. And evidently it seems like a lot of people had the same sentiment because box office wise, this movie is not doing so good.
Worse than
Apparently,
Morbius, I hear.
yeah, this was the biggest fall off a cliff in terms of the sequel ever. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm just
What
saying,
Yeah.
if there's an Avenger movie or a Marvel film, they'll be saying, "Oh, Marvel fell off again."
there goes Marvel.
Uh,
What about you, Austin? Would you have rather? Are you okay with how we got it, or would you have rather the Joker ending?
Wait, repeat that.
So, like, a lot of people were mad. A lot of people I've seen were mad because they, at the end, they built up that Arthur was going to be the Joker for them to go back on it. And so I was wondering, would you have rather the Joker ending, where he just goes and becomes the Joker, or are you okay with what we got here?
I guess it depends on how you see the exploration. I think you could have. I think the best part about the ending with Harley and all that is that even the scene where he backtracked, the way you handle it, you could have went both ways. You know, I'm not gonna make that joke. You could have went both ways with how you handle it. Because yeah, he didn't see himself as a Joker, but after losing Harley, he could have fell even more into that delusion.
Okay.
Or like we saw, he could have wanted to be a regular man. Depends on how well you went to it. So I like how kind of open they handled it. But I think the way they handled it for the best. I don't think they're going to get a sequel regardless. So I don't think it
mhm.
matters.
Yeah, and I think
But the way they wrote the film, he could have chose either side, and it just feels like life just forced him to choose one. I can't really be mad at
Mhm.
how he chose it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think having you still get a Joker at the end, so it's you do get that
Yeah.
the legend continues, just not the one you thought. So I think
Yep.
that's
Yep.
fine. I do wonder if I don't think the musical part's gonna age well. I do wonder because usually I'd say I put my foot down and say like, no, this will probably age well over time or not. But I don't know about this movie. I don't know if it will age better or worse with time.
Mhm.
I know some people see the movie the way that I do, but there are a lot of people who don't. And I do wonder if the movie will age better or worse as time goes on when the heat dies down. I just don't know. So
It's not because the
Yep.
musical part is that. If you have to
yeah.
go through
Mhm.
all the musical part just to get to the good things and stuff towards the end of the film, it's like I'm probably not going to rewatch this film. I'm just for
Mhm.
that.
Yep.
And if you got to skip past all this to get to these things, I don't think I need to understand this movie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Mm.
Mhm.
I can see it. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that holds him back too. Because like I said, I mean,
I
mid
mean,
to
if you
me
watch,
mid. So I could just watch it casually, personally. But I know for some people, there's some people who just don't even like musicals to begin with either.
Mhm.
So it's just like, especially if it's not a good one, they don't want to watch the
Mhm.
movie. You know what I mean? So it's like
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Uh,
Um,
I think it's
to
just looking
anything,
like a casual watch. Because if this is just on TV, I'm going to choose something else.
mm,
To add to Jake's point about the rewatchability of this film, like he did bring up good points about like hey, if you watch this from a different layer, it gets a little better. But I'll say like when it came to the first film, right? Like it was worth a rewatch. You get to explore new concepts. Like the other day when I was like rewatching some clips on Joker, right? I saw like one comment mentioning that by the end of the film, when he's with the therapist in prison, like when he's laughing while smoking a cigar, that was him finally laughing by his own choice, not
Mm.
because of his
Yeah,
condition. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it like that, but yeah, that's a good layer. This film, I don't think there's going to be any moment where I say like if I rewatch a scene and say, "Oh, okay, maybe there's a deeper meaning into that film, into that scene," that it's going to be enough to say, "Okay, now my viewpoints of this movie fully changed, and it's a better movie now that I think of it that way."
I think it's fair.
Um,
I think it's fair because at the end of the day, while you see a lot of things I do really admire about this film. At the end of the day, I don't think it's a good film. I think it's like okay. Um, and I think if I think it's fair to say that like I'm giving the movie, seeing the
you thought the
movie.
first movie was okay.
No. I think this the first movie I thought was great.
Um,
I'm saying like
gotcha.
with everything I'm saying that I really admire about this film and that I really admire writing wise. At the end of the day, I came out thinking like it's an okay film. I didn't think it was trash. So I think if that's the best I can give it with all of the charitability, then maybe I think maybe it won't. It doesn't make a difference. Maybe that is the case. Maybe just like that's what it is. You know.
Hmm.
Whereas in the first movie, like you said, you could rewatch the movie and it's already a great film, but it could be better once you
Yep.
notice the theme. So I guess that is fair.
Yeah.
I never watched the first film. The first film was my top three combo films. I never watched it.
Oh man.
I don't think it's a.
Yeah,
I personally don't think it's a rewatchable film. I
man.
think it's great. I just don't have fun rewatching it. The whole thing.
Dude, my
That's how I feel
sister.
about it.
Yeah.
Dude, my sister is a normie, right? Like we don't usually talk about comic book stuff much, and but then she's the one who brings up Joker to me. So that's how I know like the first movie really got to a lot of people. Like, damn.
Especially those South Korean boys.
Oh god. Yeah, that might be
What is that about?
yeah.
Apparently, like these people, I can pull up the article. We put it in Hot Topics, but apparently, from what I remember,
What is that about?
The South Korean people love the first movie. They were down for the mission, and they came to the theaters dressed up as the Joker.
Damn.
And then the movie was like so bad to them. I think they just rioted about it. Basically,
What?
they were like so angry. If I could find that article, if I could just get to Hot Topics.
No, them all people not gonna take the demasculating of a man. Well in the film.
Yeah, I think they
You
saw
want
this
to,
as like a rebellious.
you want to say
We
that
we gotta wrap this up.
yeah, you want to explore that tomorrow, Jake? We can put it on our topics for tomorrow.
I wasn't sure about wanting it to be a topic, unless if you're putting it in the box office thing too. We can just stick those two together. Are we doing
Yeah,
that?
yeah. We'll do that.
All
We'll take
right.
time.
Yeah, I'll have more time to read
All right.
over. But yeah.
Gotcha. But all right, guys.
Oh, that's right. They were sitting in seats reserved for pregnant women in
Yeah.
the theaters. That's how much they wanted to see this film. Oh my god.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
But yeah. All right. I think we already reached the hour mark, so I think it's time to wrap this up for tonight, audience.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us as we were talking about Joker. What was the last part? For the Ado. Okay. Oh God.
We'll get them those French speaking classes someday. Don't worry.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Jake Austin, before we close out tonight?
You should watch Love and Thunder better. Okay,
Nah.
Love and Thunder, Eternals. I'm not gonna say matter what. I'm not gonna do all like that.
No.
Love and Thunder, Eternals, Suicide Squad 16. Let me think one more. Morbius. I want to watch Morbius before I watch this movie again. I give you my word.
I will tell you this: Thor 4 is better than Thor 3. It always will be. It always shall be. I'm just stating the facts, man.
Okay. All right then. All right, audience. Catch us next week. Catch us a day later as we talk about the media news of the week. So, all right. See y'all later. Bye.
Hi guys.